Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Welcome back to another, I guess I'm going to have to make this a series of how we play the game, not why we play the game. Have you ever thought or counted how many games have you played? And I don't mean like how many different games, but I mean like how many sessions, how many actual sessions, different days, what have you played? 10, 20, 100,000, 10,000. Did you know that each and every one of those makes it harder for you to play someone other than yourself? When you try to role play some new character, and I know there's people already going, "Oh bullshit, I can play anything." No, you can't. You're always playing yourself, playing somebody else, always. And until that happens, until you get one of those Men in Black flashy things that erases all your memories and reduces you to a gibbering 3-year-old, you're still playing yourself, playing someone else. And, you know, for some games, this really isn't a problem. If you're playing a Western, a modern, a sci-fi, a superhero game, no problem. Have you guys ever read Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court? Have you ever thought of what you and your knowledge right now, today, any John Q. Public who's an avid role player could do if they were transported back to the Middle Ages or to a D&D world with your current knowledge of you know, the laws of physics and you know, health and sanitary conditions and things like that, all the things that you know that your first level budding farm boy character out to go on his first adventure would have no clue about. And I've heard recently, oh, well, you can just chalk it up to the hearing tales of adventurers. So you just happen to hear every single story, every adventure has ever come through your little podunk town, and you know all these tricks. No, you don't. You shouldn't. And it's impossible for us GMs to police that kind of knowledge and kind of a drag, but I do it all the time. I use my own knowledge of things to influence my character because I can't help it. I am my character and vice versa. Not saying I need to, you know, get psychiatric care, but when some of you guys are already arguing that point, I can already hear it. But are you following? Are you tracking what I'm trying to get across? It's not always a bad thing, and in some cases it can be a great thing, especially when you're playing just about any game but good old-fashioned Dungeons and Dragons. But when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy role-playing games where your characters wouldn't know all these things, now I've seen some players play some really low intelligence characters and play them really well, not, you know, knowing that, hey, because I'm rolling this low, because I've rolled this low stat, there's a whole lot of stuff, you know, like common sense things I wouldn't know, so it makes it easier. Or you know, I'm running an 18 intelligence wizard, so there's all kinds of stuff I would have read about and known about. Yeah, but if you really had all that knowledge, then why are you still only first level? You have the working knowledge from all these, you know, tricks and things that you think your character would know, but yet he's still first level. Therefore, he doesn't know half of what you think he knows. So, I'm not offering up a solution. I'm just highlighting an issue that I've been noticing lately, because there are some cures and some fixes for this sort of behavior. Obviously, for the aforementioned, your character wouldn't know that. In which case you get into a 5 to 20 minute argument about, well, why not? And you just, because I said so. That's never happened in your character's life since I am the DM. You can literally just say you've never heard that before, therefore you don't know it. Or you can change up the entire monster manual and things like that, which, you know, most players who play with me know that I've already done, because I play with almost exclusively dungeon masters who, despite their best intentions, still subconsciously know things and react and act certain ways in which their character would just have no no excuse for having that sort of knowledge. And so a couple of my suggestions are, um, obviously saying, you don't know that, or you could give them a chance to know that. Say, okay, let's see, if you would know that. But let's face it, we were talking about this kind of earlier today, I think it was. Maybe it was yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday because I didn't do a show yesterday. How low-level characters should know bupkis. They should be not checking for traps around every door and every corridor and every hallway and every room and every item because they've never run into one before. And the idea, sure, you may know it, but you're not that hardened, grizzled, 7th level thief that you've played, some other time. You're playing this brand new first level character who should be, naive to these things. And once you start, like losing NPCs or player characters, then you could start, being your natural paranoid self. But up until that time, or such situation warranted, you wouldn't know to do most of these things. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people who are like trying to get back into the hobby and want to get back into gaming, or maybe come back to fantasy role playing, that they miss is what they don't know. And unfortunately, that ship has sailed for so many of us. We now know all this stuff, all these stories, these experiences along the way that we can't forget, and we can't just play dumb. But in reality, that's what we should be trying to do. That's what we should be trying to instill amongst our fellow players. And they're going to be like, no, I want to win, and you lose by winning. Trust me, it really is a thing. Diminishing returns, as it were. The more you play, the less playing is actually scratching that itch. Now, there are a couple of fixes for this. One I'm going to show off because most of you probably never played this game in any of its forms, but back in the day, this one was 1979 and still in like perfect condition. You were playing yourself. You literally rolled up yourself, and you didn't roll yourself. Your fellow players at the table got to help you choose your stats, as in the traditional strength, intelligence, dexterity, etc. From them knowing you, they would say, well, I've seen you at the gym. You can't bench more than 150, so you're getting this in strength. Or you're an idiot. You're only getting a 9 in intelligence, or something like that. And if you know anything about different testing methods and things like that, you can kind of get pretty close. If you're really honest about it, and from there you make up a superhero character that is you, and you play in whatever world, whatever setting, where you are currently located. And the GM will then, tell you how somehow you miraculously got some superpowers by rolling on the charts, etc. And from that point on, you're playing yourself in this imaginary alternate reality world where you get to use all that info. You get to use everything you know up until the point you just rolled up your character, because everything you know is all in here, and you get to use it. Another solution is to play more modern to sci-fi oriented games where you can justify all the information that's in your head because it makes more sense. But I'm going to refer back to Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court. Even a simple, not a simpleton, but a simple guy like the Connecticut Yankee, who gets thrust back, and mind you, that was what 1800s, 1900s, over 100 years ago, roughly, that character went back in time. So he didn't know what we know, but he was able to go back in time and create, steam engines and things like that. I forget all the things that he was able to recreate and change the entire fabric of history and that world, etc. Just with the little knowledge that they had back then. Imagine the things that you know that they would have no clue about, especially us gamers who have the benefit of the internet and have spent tens of thousands of hours pouring through how-to videos and other videos, for learning purposes and history and things like that, learning tactics and strategies, etc., that your first level character would have no access to, no clue. And I know it's hard, guys, but trust me, if you can really think about that as you're playing your characters and try to stave off that paranoia, stave off that your own information, your own memories and knowledge, and try to get more into the character, you will be able to regain some of what you're looking for when it comes to, wishing your games were like they used to be, and actually being able to play your character better because you don't know these things. And trust me, failing or not getting the best results or making mistakes, those are really far more advantageous and beneficial to your overall game than rolling perfect successes and perfect everything all the way through your charmed character's life, because you avoided all the traps and you knew the monster's weaknesses and you knew all the tricks because you'd read all the Dragon magazines and read all the modules and read all that stuff. Something to think about. I would love to hear what you guys think about this topic. What you think, if there is no way around it, and you just gotta freaking forget it. It's just a game. Then you turn it into just a game and less of the experience that it, at least for me, that it's always been a way to get away from oneself and to get away from the troubles and trials and tribulations of Earth in the year 2026 or whatever. Feel free to chime in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think. Is this just a defect of the mechanics and the rules in the game, and just something we're all going to have to live with? And the more you play, the less enjoyable your games are going to be. Maybe not for you, but for everybody around you, because your character knows far too much. That's what I got for you this morning. I will be back in about 30 minutes with the second breakfast. I hope to continue this discussion there if you guys are interested, or maybe we'll talk about completely different things. Either way, hit the buttons and let me know what you think one way or the other. And until then, folks, have a great day, and as always, happy trails.